Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to give out a little bit of information about a knife or two that I have, and I'm also going to request some information about some knives I had, and maybe someone will tune in that can give me the information or some information that I'm looking for. The first knife is a Spyderco knife that I purchased many years ago, and I don't particularly like it. It's very difficult to open one-handed. There's a lot of tension on that spring. The back lock drops the blade very nicely, but again, difficult to open. Not impossible, just difficult. A serrated blade I never did like, but when I purchased this, I assume I specifically wanted that serrated blade for whatever purpose I was looking for at the time. This is an interesting knife as far as I'm concerned because we see it says Spyderco on the upper part of the blade on this side. On the other side it says Seki Japan. And then interestingly, on the back of the handle, right by my thumb, it says Hofritz. So I'm wondering about that relationship. On the pocket clip, it has additional information regarding U.S. patent. Looks like 4347665, foreign patents pending. On the back side, the pins are very evident, holding this knife together. And on this front side, it's very difficult to see those pins, but they are there. I believe they are. Maybe the ones toward the back aren't. You can see the pivot pin there. So I assume that this is some very early Spyderco knife in some kind of relationship with Hofritz. If anyone has any information on that, I'd really appreciate it. I guess it's a nice knife, but I never liked it. It's very heavy, very well made. A lot of tension on that spring. I challenge even these knife channel guys to flip that one open. But some may be able to do it. Anyway, if anyone has any information on that knife, I would really appreciate it. The next knife that I have questions about is a Benchmade Tanto blade, Balisong. I think probably very early, if not first Balisong that Benchmade actually produced. Well made, good condition, beautiful knife. On one side of the blade we have the Benchmade logo. On the other side we have the U.S. patent number. I would really be interested in when this was produced, how many units were produced. And I have its almost twin brother here, except this one has a hollow ground, beautiful blade. The same markings with the Benchmade logo and the patent number on the other side. Good condition, beautiful knife. I'd be interested in when that was produced, how many units were made, how collectible it might be. If anyone has that information, I'd really appreciate it. Now, my next offering, I know quite a bit about this knife. I've carried this knife on and off for I don't know, 25 or more years. It was in a toolbox for a year or two. It's a Griptilian, as everyone can see. It's got my favorite blade shape on it. And this is a workhorse. This is a beautiful knife. The favorite knife that I have. As I said, I've carried this on and off for 25 years. And I'll never give this up for sure. I sent this back to Benchmade at one point. It had been gunked up. It was dirty. I had sharpened it numerous times in different ways. So they cleaned it up for me, and they put a nice factory edge on it that I could then follow and carefully sharpen it. My opinion, best pocket knife ever made by Benchmade. After carrying this for, as I said, going on 25 years or more, I decided, let me do a reveal here for you, that I needed to get Mini Griptilian. Baby brother, sister, however you look at it. Beautiful, beautiful knife. We can see the comparison there. Not as much of a workhorse. I regard this knife as the perfect present for someone. A young man, maybe you want to give him his first knife. Or young lady, beautiful knife for a lady. Comes in several blade styles, but this is my favorite. I prefer the thumb hole opening to any other type of blade. Very nice and slicey. This one's very sharp. The interesting thing about my old Griptilian, if you can see there, this is 440C. I don't think that this knife has been produced in 440C in a long time, but I could be wrong. Somebody let me know when they stopped producing this knife in 440C. The new one, let's see what we can find on here. Along with Mel Pardue, we see that this is in S30V. I'm told that's a nice blade steel. I wouldn't know the difference. I use a knife, it gets dull, I sharpen it. I don't count how many times I sharpen it, I just use it and sharpen it. 440C. Some people might call that a garbage steel. That piece of 440C has been used and abused for 25 years or more, and it still will chafe. So garbage steel or not. Anyway, that's a beautiful pair right there. And I'm very proud to own those two knives. I'd appreciate any comments anyone has, and take care.